All right, if you're an independent artist, let me ask you something. What's the single most important decision you make when you upload a new track? You're probably thinking it's the mix, the master, maybe even the cover art. But what if I told you it's actually a simple drop-down menu? Today, we're diving deep into the hidden economics of genre and how that one little choice can literally make or break your success on streaming platforms.
See, here's the fundamental problem. On one side, you've got how you, the artist, see it. Genre is your flag, it's your creative identity, a label for your sound. But on the other side, that's the platform's view. And to them, your genre is just a cold, hard economic variable. It's a data point that feeds an algorithm, and that algorithm's job is to predict your music's financial potential. This massive disconnect is exactly where so many artists get it wrong.
This quote just nails it. Genre is not just aesthetic, it's math. We have to stop thinking about genre as this purely artistic thing and start seeing it for what it is in this new world, a strategic decision. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, let's break it down.
Okay, so let's start by totally reframing how we think about this. We're moving away from genre as just art and looking at it as an economic variable. I'm not kidding when I say that the genre you pick when you upload your track, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll make for your entire release.
You know that little drop-down menu where you have to pick pop or indie folk or whatever? That is so much more than a label. For the platform, that's the #1 piece of information their algorithm grabs to decide who hears your music, what other songs you're competing against, and, at the end of the day, whether your song finds its audience or just gets completely lost in the noise. So what actually happens after you click that button? How do these platforms really use the genre you've chosen? Let's pull back the curtain for a second and take a look at the mechanics behind these incredibly powerful algorithms. The first concept you gotta understand is something called the genre cluster. A platform doesn't just see pop. No, it sees a whole group, a cluster of songs that have a similar vibe. Tempo, mood, instruments. And this is the absolute key. Your song's performance is only judged against the other songs in its little cluster. You're not competing against every song on the platform. You're just competing against the ones that sound like you. So that one tag you choose, it kicks off this whole 4-step process that basically decides your song's fate. First, it decides which playlist you can even qualify for. Second, it defines your direct competition, the songs in your cluster. Third, it tells the algorithm which listeners to even try sending your song to. And finally, it sets the bar for what good performance even means for your song. It's the gatekeeper to everything. And here's where it can all just fall apart. Imagine you've made a chill, introspective indie song, but you tag it as EDM because you think, hey, bigger audience, right? Wrong. The algorithm serves it up to people expecting a massive drop. What do? They hit skip in the first 5 seconds. That skip rate, it's like a giant red flag for the algorithm. It basically says this song is a dud, and poof, its potential is just snuffed out. But on the flip side, the exact opposite is true. When you tag your song correctly, it finds the right people. They listen longer, they save it, they add it to their own playlists. All this positive data tells the platform, hey, people are really digging this one. The algorithm's confidence in your track goes way up, and it starts pushing it out to even more new listeners. It's a beautiful, virtuous cycle. So you can see it's not just about finding the right listeners. It's also about choosing the right battle to fight. Because that genre tag doesn't just define your audience, it defines your competition. And that single choice can absolutely make your song sink or swim. I mean, just take a look at this. The difference in competition is staggering. Broad genres like pop or hip-hop, they're insanely crowded. You are literally competing with the biggest artists on the planet. But if you look at more niche genres, like lo-fi or ambient, the competition is so much lower. A great song in a smaller genre has a way better chance of standing out and actually getting noticed. Let's make this super clear. Imagine you've got a song that could kind of be pop, but it could also fit in the subgenre indie pop. If you tag it as pop, you're throwing it into a shark tank. The competition is off the charts, your visibility is basically zero, and getting on a big playlist? Forget about it. But if you tag that exact same song as indie pop, all of a sudden you're in a much friendlier pond. The competition's lower, your visibility is higher, and you have a real shot at landing on relevant playlists. Same song, completely different results. And the benefits go way beyond just that initial push. The data actually shows that these niche genres often have a much longer shelf life. They generate a steadier, more reliable income stream over time. You know, those mainstream hits can burn super bright, but they often fade just as fast. Plus, think about genres like ambient or lo-fi. They're literally designed for people to listen for hours, which means more streams per listener and, you guessed it, more money for you. Okay, so we've covered the why. We've seen why genre is so critical. Now, let's get practical. How do you actually do this? This next section is your playbook. It's a step-by-step guide to making the right choice for your music. First, let's talk about what not to do. These are the 3 biggest traps artists fall into. Number 1, overusing the pop tag. It's so tempting because you think it means popular. In reality, it just means you've decided to compete with Taylor Swift. Good luck. The second mistake is ignoring those super specific subgenres. It feels like you're shrinking your audience, but you're actually giving yourself a fighting chance. And the third, and this might be the biggest one, is letting your distributor auto-tag your music. You have to take control of this yourself. So, here's your 4-step game plan to get it right. 1. Do your homework. Find artists who sound like you and see exactly how they're tagging their music. 2. Get specific. Don't just be rock. Be post-punk revival or dream pop. The smaller and more accurate, the better. 3. Be honest. Does your tag actually match the mood and the tempo of your song? And finally, number 4, start small. As your audience grows, you can start to expand into broader tags. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Look, this whole strategy isn't about being less creative or boxing yourself in. It's actually the opposite. It's about being smart. As this quote says, it's about placing your music where it has the highest chance to win. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. The right genre tag doesn't just get you heard, it gets you paid. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Go look at your own music on the streaming platforms. Is your current genre choice really setting you up for success? Is it helping you win, or is it holding you back?